Hello, everybody. It's Marcia Regan here, and I'm thrilled to be coming to you with the 2022 color frequency and color energy, which is indigo. And I'm smiling here because it is about 4:45 here, and it's just about coming into that indigo sky, because I've tried different times to do this video and it just hasn't worked out. And I'm like, okay, they want me to do this video for you under the energy of the night sky. Now, indigo is associated with intuition. It is associated with our soul, with really the soul. The soul is going to want to be leading in 2022. It's also associated with creating new structures. We are going to see a deconstruction of old ways of being, old systems, old processes, starting to fall away. Depth, this is the year we're going to go deep within. And it's also the color that's associated with truth, and it's going to call us all to trust in what we know deep within, trusting in the divine plan, trusting that there is a divine source of the highest consciousness that is always there, that exists, and that we can access at all times if we so choose. This is the year that's going to bring us deeper into divine truth, okay, into wisdom, into justice. And so with all of that, really the two words that will describe this year is new life. So this is the year of new life, living from the soul, okay? And there's a big difference between living from your soul and living from limitation, living from your limited mind. You'll know the difference. So when you start living from your soul, it is a whole new way of being, a whole new life starts to unfold, okay? Because this is the year that we are going to birth the new cycle of life into form. So how exciting is that? Okay. Now, what happens when we have new? Well, like when there's the new baby, when the new baby comes out of the womb, it's trying to, it's squiggling, it's trying to find its way. When you're seeing like a foal that is born, it's wobbly on its legs. So there are going to be wobbles this year, okay, until we find our feet, until we get used to this high frequency, until we find our way, until we really start being in alignment with the truth of our soul, individually and collectively, okay? Because we all matter, okay? There's nobody better than anybody else or less than anybody else. We all matter, and our soul has contracted to be here at this time to co-create this new world, okay? And the new cycle of this life, this new world, is coming into form this year, okay? Now, what I also want to say to you is that as part of this divine highest plan and the depth that indigo brings, we may see, destructive energies. And what I want to say to you here is that there is no need to be afraid of these destructive energies, okay? Because they exist in nature, okay? It's in us, it's part of life, like storms, when storms come in nature, we have to stay in the eye of the storm so we're not taken out. And yes, there's destruction, but then afterwards you can see that there's new life. You can see a freshness, the calmness, the relief, the release. So this is also going to be part of 2022. So what we need to do is we need to be intelligent in its potential power and stay centered in our hearts, divinely connected to our soul, into divine source, and anchoring into Mother Earth, okay? So we really need to tap in to that wisdom to avoid any ill effects that it can cause, okay? So when you're in the eye of the storm, you are totally safe, and so it doesn't matter what kind of destructions are going on, okay? Also, indigo, to know about the indigo sky, right? So if you look at the indigo sky, there are stars and the moon. This is where the stars and the moon reside, okay? Lighting the way and reminding us of the magic and mystery of life and the planets and spirit, okay? So you are one of the stars in that indigo sky, and there is plenty of room for all the stars to shine bright and light the way, okay? So the brighter that you shine your light, the more present that you are, the bigger and greatness that you are using from that soul that you are, the better, okay? So it's an exciting, exciting year with lots of newness, lots of opportunities, okay? This is the year where there will be fresh life, a more soulful, fulfilled you that wants to emerge, okay? And it's going to be the year in order for that to be so, then your soul will no longer tolerate or accept the limits, which are kind of under the disguise of keeping you safe and not upsetting the apple cart, because you are here to expand and grow and do the work that you came here to do, okay? So there's going to be a newness in all of us, right? In different ways, okay? So because we're unique, it's going to be different for every one of us, but it's also good to know that none of us will be alone because we're all going through our own version of it, okay? Now, this is why you're being reminded that the power of your intuition, the power of, divine support, the power of really allowing the physical support that's being given to you on the earth plane here, the earth angels, okay? So there will be a calling for you to have, maybe it's new behaviors, new ways of looking at yourself, new beliefs, and new ideas that need nurturing to be brought to life, or whatever it is. A new way of being in the world is being called for to each and every one of us, okay? Nobody's going to be excluded, okay? So this is the year where we are going to be called to live a more conscious and in a more conscientious way, okay? So we can no longer turn a blind eye to what we sense and what we know deep inside in us, so that is gone. And really the importance that we have in our presence in being on the earth at this time, our soul contracted to be here now for a reason, okay? So each and every person matters, and each and every person is felt, okay? Now, what I also want you to know as well is that there's a line that that I saw, and I can't remember where, but it's like that the mind, no, what is it again? That beyond the mind, the heart beats, okay? So in the chaos of modern life and the fluctuations of the mind, it can be difficult to remember that actually we are the heart, okay? That inside in us is this beautiful, sublime sanctuary within each and every one of us, and it's in here that we must go, okay? And within this space is this endlessness, this vast spaciousness that restores and connects us to something greater, okay? Something that is infinite, Okay, and some will say that it is eternity. That kind of, again, if you look at that, you know, the color of the night sky, that night sky, when you look up, it's endless. There is no beginning, there is no end. It is just this vastness. And this is what we're here to fully understand, okay? This is also the year whereby we will be taken on a deeper connection to our soul, okay? To spirit, to our hearts, and that we are being asked to respond from that place and to sense and intuit what we are going to do next, okay? So it's really following the path of our soul's divine plan that we feel, okay, that we sense, rather than to plan our way, okay? So it's really, this is the year where we will be called, and you will be called, to really sense and respond rather than plan your way, okay? Because that's the mind. The planning is the mind, because it's going to be very, it's actually going to be kind of a very different way to create and live. And this is where the divine feminine actually comes in as well, okay? So I'll be talking about that in a minute, because I asked as well, what were the divine feminine goddesses? And I got 2, okay? Now, what you have got, what you're being called to do is thy will be done. So it's your willingness to trust your heart and to rebel against fear that's going to serve you well this year, okay? So it's like you're going to be asking, where am I coming from? Am I coming from my heart, or am I coming from fear? So we are all going to be asked, and it will make the journey easier this year if we walk in faith and to trust and get to know more about our intuition, about that feeling, okay? Ask for guidance from the many beings that are around you and supporting you to co-create this heaven and earth. And I really, really feel and sense that there has been a huge influx of new angelic, multidimensional galactic beings that have been brought on here on this earth in 2022 to really support us, okay? Now, the 2 divine feminine goddesses that are here, have been given to us in 2022, is, the first one is Teresa of Avila, right? So she's known as the Lady of the Interior Life. So it's going within. And the other goddess, when I saw this one, I was like, oh my God, it's Sekhmet, known as the Red Lady, all right? Now, let me tell you a little bit about Teresa first. So Teresa of Avila, she knew about the spiritual wealth we all possess inside in us, okay? And we have access to it, okay? But we must be willing to go inward. So she emphasizes the importance to meditate, to pray, to carve out moments of silence, to really find, maybe it is to go for walks on the beach, but to find time and to find a way to connect in whatever form that works for you, so that you can reach your own inner sanctuary. And this is where the soul resides, okay? So it really is the year for connecting with and getting to know your soul on a deeper level. She has been known as well to have a bookmark, and on it, it was written, if you have God, you will want for nothing. God alone suffices. So I always say, it's like everything that you want is really a lot, you know, it's linked to your divine connection, okay? Really, really putting your focus in your soul's power and in that higher power of the highest consciousness. God does not, or the divine does not deny, never denies. There are only delays. Okay, so it's giving no meaning to anything, knowing that you are just ask and you will receive, seek, take action, and you will find, knock and the door will be opened. Okay, now the other goddess is Sekhmet. Now Sekhmet reminds the world of female power. All right, so this is the divine feminine, and 22 is associated with divine feminine power and energy. It is the female power that ends wars. It is the female power that brings children home, that seeks justice for the earth, that defends justice and fairness. Okay, so Sekhmet is the sacred call to move anything that's out of alignment, to move any anger from pure emotion into conscious action. She wants us to act with conviction and from love. Love conquers all. She wants us this year to go deep within and to really end any destructive patterns that no longer serve. So it's time to go within and to end those destructions, okay? Or those destructive patterns and programs. Now, what I'm also going to say to you as I close this message for 2022 is that you can also, with the help of Sekhmet, to draw a divine sacred circle around you at all times, okay, to really align you to your divine right to thrive and make the most of what Indigo has for you this year. So I'd love to hear from you about what resonated in that message and how you're going to use that indigo color by breathing it in, wearing it like I am here, eating those colored fruits and vegetables, giving yourself time, focusing on the soul, really embracing the message that you are being given today. Now you have this message. What are you going to do with it? Because that's what's going to create the changes for you and for the world that we are co-creating together. Sending you so much love. Mwah.